Hi everybody, Megan here with another set of life lessons that we can all learn from. This time, because Halloween is upon us, we're going to focus on Stephen King's spooky stories. So all you ghouls and goblins out there, get your quills out and get ready to put these down in your spell book. Number 5, beware the kindness of strangers. Well, it's good to keep an open mind and not automatically assume that every stranger that comes into town is up to no good. As we've seen in some Stephen King stories, it's certainly a good idea to keep a suspicious eye on some of them. Oh sure, there's that nice old gentleman with his antique store. Or that old recluse down the street with a funny accent. They may seem harmless enough at first. Heck, they may even seem extremely generous and offer you things that your heart's always desired. But unfortunately, many times we've seen that these characters are there for nefarious reasons. They've really come to your little town for your soul, your blood, and your children to make them that night's dinner. Of course, you want to be friendly and courteous. Hell, even make them a pie or something. But please, just be careful how quickly you trust them. Don't sign anything or look into their eyes for too long. And damn it, do not instantly welcome them into your home. Because the next thing you know, you're going to have some evil little bastard flying up to your window and helping himself to your neck for a little midnight snack. You don't need that shit. Number 4, a small town does not always mean you're safe and sound. I'm sure most of us at one time or another have dreamed about getting away from the big city and all the hustle and bustle and either move or take a nice long vacation in a small town where there's peace and quiet. But listen folks, if there's one thing we've learned from Stephen King stories, it's that the darkest secrets and the craziest stuff happens in small towns. Oh sure, that quaint little town in Maine you just rolled into might look cute and comfy, but stick around for any length of time and before you know it, you're going to be confronted by werewolves, vampires, clowns, and who knows what other kind of freaky shit. I mean, damn, even your car and your appliances can go all schizo and crazy on you. How often have you heard about somebody being hunted by a werewolf or terrorized by a rabid St. Bernard in the big city? Okay, the city might bring with it typical crime and violence, but do you ever hear about people getting murdered in the tall grass or crazy cults living in cornfields in the middle of downtown Chicago? No, I don't think you do. But if you insist on moving to small town USA, or if you just happen to find yourself growing up there, at least try to keep your eyes and ears peeled for anything strange. Don't just assume that your sleepy little town isn't going to be full of unexpected scary surprises. In other words, keep a crucifix, a stake, and some silver bullets nearby. That shit can come in pretty damn handy. Number 3, there is almost always safety in numbers. Alright people, anybody that's read or seen enough Stephen King stories, or really any scary stories for that matter, should know that anyone that ventures out on their own or goes rogue are always the ones that tend to bite the big one. Just because you think you're tough enough to take on that scary monster, or if you have enough anger and vengeance in your heart that you just know you can take down that evil obstacle in your way, does not mean you're going to be able to pull it off like you have it planned out in your head. King's stories show over and over again that true power comes from unity, friendship, and love. Oh, you might think you're ready to go kick the evil clown right up his derriere? Get it? Derriere? No? Alright, I'm gonna head out. But the truth is, it's gonna take you and your loved ones acting together to really take that monster down once and for all. Because whether you're trying to rid your town of evil, or band together to fight off some greedy oppressors, or simply just going on a little adventure looking for answers, it's been proven that the company you keep during these times is truly the most rewarding part of the experience. But seriously folks, if you're gonna do a pact, just spit in your hands and shake on it, or sign an agreement on actual paper with pen. There is absolutely no reason to seal the deal with group sex or the ritual of Chud, or some other creepy nonsense ritual. Seriously, what is that even about? Number 2, don't be closed-minded to the seemingly impossible. In today's day and age, it's pretty easy to automatically be wary about everything. With so much information being shared and skewed through the internet and other news outlets, it's just so hard to know who or what to believe anymore. So naturally, if some stranger strolls into town talking about haunted houses, vampires, some beings that have supernatural powers, most people's first reaction would be think they're talking crazy. But as we've seen in so many King stories, people who refuse to believe and are skeptical tend to be the ones that meet an untimely death or get screwed over. Sometimes in life, you're going to find yourself in impossible situations, whether you like it or not. Burying your head in the sand and refusing to believe is just a recipe for disaster. If you keep an open mind and try to be prepared for unexpected situations, you just might have a fighting chance of overcoming the odds and thinking your way out of any situation. Number 1, when telling a story, be concise. Okay, while we can all acknowledge that Stephen King is one of the best, most successful, and imaginative writers of our time, we can also acknowledge that he can get a little crazy with some of his descriptions. Like seriously, we're talking dozens, if not hundreds, of pages of extra minor shit. And while it's good to set the stage for imagination, if you take so long to get to the point because you're dragging it out too long, people are going to start to tune out. You might have something really funny to say or an important point to make, but unless you find a happy medium with your descriptions and details, people are either going to fall asleep, get disinterested, or throw the book across the room. Or maybe even at your damn head. Have you ever been hit in the head with a copy of The Stand? Ow! That shit hurts. All right, everybody, that wraps up our life lessons for this round. I hope those treats do the trick. Remember, stay safe, stay alert, stay alive. It's Halloween, y'all. Get off your derrieres and go get some candy. Derrieres.
Ooh, yes. Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I leaned over and all of a sudden this thing freaked me out.